It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
In the criminal justice system, sexually-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
This is my version of Who the Fuck Did I Marry, except Who the Fuck Did I Date? And this is probably the most insane story time you are ever going to listen to. I met a man who was so insanely charming and sweet and kind. And literally just from a TikTok that I uploaded yesterday, I uncovered a baby mama, a girlfriend, debt, warrants, like all these types of things, allegedly, because I have to say allegedly. Making this video, literally because one, I almost feel like he's slightly dangerous from what I've heard. And two, I don't want any other woman to go through this ever again because this seems to be a repetitive pattern with him. Quite frankly, he found the wrong bitch to fuck with. Now he's getting up on TikTok and utilizing the platform that I gave to him and helped him build because I wanted to help him. I need to set this record straight because the last thing that I ever want is to help someone be a bad person. So yeah, this is the story. For legal reasons, I cannot name his actual name. Yes, I will explain the TikTok that I posted yesterday where we pretended we were not together. I was just trying to help him. Yeah, I can't list his name, but if you ever run into a man who is 6'7", looks like Prince Naveen, is super charming, and used to play basketball in LA, please run as far away from him because I'm not kidding. I don't say this lightly. I genuinely do believe, allegedly and in my own opinion, that he is a sociopath, a narcissist, and just a demented man. Before we start this story out, I am going to reference the last video that I posted with him. You understand that that video probably sounds so stupid and probably makes sense to nobody unless you do social media. We're trying to help his social media career kind of take off. My friends and I do social media, so we were like, okay, we're gonna come up with this idea and like kind of thirst trap you out because we know how girls on the internet. Obviously, I need to start a career in social media management because the video went exceptionally well. I don't know what he thought was going to happen by a video going viral because I told him it was going to go viral. No idea if he didn't think that the women that he has literally lied, cheated on, abused, and everything else in the rest of his life wasn't going to come out because when you are such a horrible person, people stay angry and they say things. I don't know what was going through his brain, but it took less than 3 hours for the entire idea of the person I thought he was to unfold and shatter. He was never my boyfriend, so we were never officially together, even though he asked for us to be exclusive and led this whole lie. So please excuse my appearance. I have literally been crying since the day that, like the minute I woke up, because I am just flabbergasted, you guys. I cope with trauma by laughing. As like a social media person that's been on the internet, I have always refused to ever post a man because I just don't want to. So I posted him in that mannerism and it still all came out. So we kind of have to start this all back from the beginning, which, believe it or not, 3 weeks, there is literally so much drama. The story starts out on the idea that it's like a meet cute and it sounds so sweet, and I got wrapped into it because I just got wrapped into it. If you've ever been to apartment 200 in LA, please don't. I have always said that that place is a horrible place. You should never go there. I was very much so anti, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm not looking for a boyfriend. I was in the process of doing something that I really didn't need a boyfriend for. So I had no intentions of looking for a relationship. One of my friends was moving out of LA and we were going to a going away party. They decided to go to apartment 200 after the dinner we went to. While at apartment 200, which I never even wanted to go to, I meet the man, the alleged victim. Storyline is actually so crazy because it was really my friend who noticed him first and she wanted to talk to him first, but his friend pulled her away and he actually ended up speaking to me. Knowing what I know now, I should have easily clocked it, and actually in that moment at the club I did too, but he was such a good looking man and so charming, and he did seem so intentional that I overlooked it. But he comes up to me, he says, "It seems like you're really not interested in me, so I don't want to bother you." I was not interested, but I thought he was very cute. And so I was like, "Oh no, why do you feel like I'm not interested in you?" He proceeds to then tell me, "I don't really ask out girls a lot. I don't really go out much, but you honestly seem like you have such a cool vibe about you. I would love to take you out and get to know you. I want to take you to lunch." As someone who has experienced lots of men in her days, usually a green flag when a man tells you, "Hey, I want to take you out on a date," and especially if he says lunch, because lunch is not very sexy. Lunch is like very much so like, let's sit down and get to know each other. For whatever reason, in that moment, I felt like I think it was because I didn't want a boyfriend. I wasn't interested in talking to anyone seriously. I was very bad bitch, uninterested, you need to come with a lot of energy with me, I'm not giving you the time of day. So we talked for a little bit there, and then I was like, hey, I'm gonna go back to my friends, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore, and I walked away. Okay, I'm having to refilm certain clips because things went away, but when I walked away, I did notice him talking to other girls at the club, which should have been an alarm to me. But at the same time, I was also like, I understand the energy that I gave was kind of disinterested. And also, it's the first day. Like, I cannot be like, oh, you're talking to other girls at the club. I can't believe that. Like, that's not fair at all to do. So he actually ends up trying to coordinate with me to see me after the club, which I was already like, yeah, I hope you understand, like, I'm not on that vibe of like hooking up with you, like that's not happening. And he reassures me like, hey, that's not what it is, I just want to see you after the club. Again, if I had stopped and thought about it a little bit longer, I would have been like, why do I need to talk to you after the club when you're literally asking me to go on a date tomorrow? I don't know, I should have thought about that, but I didn't. Long story short, it ends up being that the after spot we were gonna go to ends up being closed, and he tries to invite me over to his friend's house. I'm not having it because I already know what that means. I've dealt with enough men, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And I was expecting to not hear from him ever again because that's usually what men do. They pretend like they're nice and then they're not. So I was already in the intention that this was dead and gone. But then he ends up responding back to me and saying, okay, no worries, we can still do lunch tomorrow. To me, I read that as a green flag of like intention, and I was like, this is a great sign. I'm gonna give him some time of my day, which I shouldn't have, knowing what I know. After what I discovered from the TikTok and talking to girls, this entire time he had a girlfriend, and actually he had just seen his girlfriend right before coming to apartment 200. So he was still involved with someone. He will say that that's not his girlfriend, allegedly, but they definitely were dating for several months. So even if he didn't officially ask, that was his girlfriend. But yeah, the whole entire time, had another girl texting her, all the stuff while he's at apartment 200, telling me he is so interested in getting to know me, wants to take me out.
You said in that video he did the same shit to me.
Oh my god.
Finding out that the boy that I've been seeing is a pathological liar and a narcissist most likely, and a sociopath probably also, considering everything that just happened and the fact that he is just posted a TikTok video talking about Google Docs for girlfriend application coming soon. After everything that I just uncovered today, cheating, girlfriends, being a deadbeat dad, allegedly, and many other things. Cross-referencing the information I got from the girl that he was dating at the time and the information that I have, he leaves the club and texts her and tells her that he ran into a group of girls, and one of them wanted to shoot him, and she thought it was super odd that he brought it up. Further along the line, they actually end up getting into an argument about one of the girls that he followed at the club, which I also recognized that he followed her on Instagram, and I had brought it up later on. But this entire time, he's got a girl, he's trying to take me out, and he's following women at the club, following them on Instagram, all these things. So I had met him on February 16th. From what I recall, allegedly, my memory is not super great. From my conversation with the girl that I spoke to, which also, by the way, I told her that I was my best friend instead. We had a lot of mixed up storylines there just because I wanted to protect my own identity and everything with that. She's probably gonna see this and be like, what the fuck? You are also a liar. I am so sorry, but I just needed to be safe. But basically, I meet him of the night of the 15th, morning of the 16th, so a day after Valentine's Day. The next day, he calls me to set up this lunch because I told him, not sure, I'm probably gonna be busy, I have stuff going on, trying to seem like the busy girl that's like, you need to make time to fit into my schedule. And it did end up being that I was actually busy that day. So he called me, he's trying to talk to me. I'm like, I have stuff to do, blah, blah, whatever. So I can't actually go out to lunch with you today. But then he ends up FaceTiming me that night so we can talk. We end up talking on FaceTime for almost 2 to 3 hours. Bear in mind that this entire time, he's got a girlfriend. Basically, he's got a girlfriend. Okay, I actually had to stop my video because I just got off the phone with the second girl to tell me her part of her story. And I also just finished talking to his fiance, who has also told me her part of the story. So basically, this man is a pathological cheater, liar, manipulator, certified bum, uses women to pay for everything. Insane.
LOL, because I think he's told a couple people that. But no, that man was cheating on me, so...
Coordinating with him the next day to go on a date with him. He kind of just like invites himself on my coffee plans. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get coffee. Like I just wanna go out. He invites himself. We end up going to the park to just talk and sit and like whatever. I just wanted a chill day. Knowing what I know now, he was still dating the other girl. She actually had his location, and she saw that he was at Pan Pacific. I'm not even kidding, guys. We were probably at Pan Pacific for 8 hours talking. Like, we were talking so long. And she was like, why the hell is he at Pan Pacific so long? Apparently, he told her that, I don't recall exactly. Also, again, this entire story is alleged. This claim applies to the entire video. So everything's alleged. I don't recall if she said that he told her he was working out or he was playing ball, one or the other. So basically, I guess that was his excuse for why he was there for 8 hours. We hit it off really well at the park, and now knowing what I know about him, I do think he's the type of person that analyzes and views people and tries to become what he thinks will work for them, because I do remember being at the park and being like, this man looks like he's staring deep into my soul and like hyper listening. And as someone who has dealt with narcissists and men along those lines my entire life, I don't know why red flag didn't go off in me. I was just like, well, maybe he's just being like a really good listener. He did share a lot of his own personal stuff, which I'm not going to share on here because, again, that's not my space, even though this is an alleged story. But I was just like, oh, I can see similarities in our childhood, like of how you grew up. Like, let me not be too rough on him, you know. I'm going to give him some grace. He pretty much tells me that he's dating with intention, yada yada, all this stuff, that he had been talking to a girl at one point previously, recently, he did tell me recently, and that they had just ended because she was way too schedule oriented and on his ass about stuff. And he's like, I'm a very free spirited person, blah, blah, I don't like schedules. And like, we were just arguing too much, and I don't do crazy. Like, she's so crazy. As someone who doesn't work a 9 to 5, I am also a very spontaneous person. My friends know that. I was like, oh my God, yay, finally someone that's like not a 9 to 5er, that's not on a schedule, like oriented. Like, I'm a very go with the flow person. So I liked that. Also, it's so crazy because he was actually telling me that he was like, yeah, I was actually casting for Love Island while I was talking to her, and I decided to stop because I just didn't feel like that was moving with intention, and I date to marry and move with intention. This, I'm not even kidding, the entire basis of his literal lie that he feeds women is that he moves with intention and he wants to get married. Literally the entire basis of everything he told. I never talked about marriage so much with someone in my entire life, and I only knew him for 3 weeks. By the end of this date, we end up coming across the conversation of his ex-fiance, which I'm not sure if she wants me to tell her story or anything. I did include a little snippet of what I talked to her about in the beginning. But long story short, he was never engaged. He gave her a promise ring, I guess, after he cheated on her several times, whatever. Anyways, they were never engaged. He's a liar. But he ran with this rhetoric this entire time that he had a fiance, that he got engaged to, he wanted to get married to her, allegedly, and that they were planning to start a family. He told me that they were a TikTok couple, and that one day after they've been together for a good amount of time, they get a DM from a girl, and the girl messages them and wants to be friends with just her. Apparently, from what I recall, I don't remember exact details, guys, because so much has happened. But from what I recall, I remember him telling me that he said that the girl and her started becoming friends, kind of indoctrinated her. She started doing things that he didn't approve of. And long story short, one day she ends up in North Carolina. Apparently, one of his friends saw her doing something in North Carolina that he was like, oh, that's your girlfriend. Like, she shouldn't be doing something like that. And so he's trying to call her, can't get in contact with her, blah, blah, all this stuff. Anyways, claims that something happened while she was in North Carolina. He doesn't bring it up. He trusts her. And then a couple months later, from what I recall, I don't know if it was a couple months, but something along that timeline, at a later time, from what I recall, allegedly. They end up going to a party together. He says that she blows up on him, gets into an argument, and basically just blurts out, because supposedly he states that she's intoxicated, and tells him, and that's why I cheated on you. He shows me engagement photos. He shows me her Instagram, also stating that she moved back to LA to beg to get back with him, allegedly. So I see a lot of this girl right away. Again, I think we talked about a lot of deep topics on that first day, and even though I did not share much about my previous relationship, because that is dead and done to me and I really don't like to focus on it, it was a lot of him sharing his stuff. I do think I kind of bonded with him over that because I could sympathize. But this storyline of his ex-fiance cheating on him, this sweet, ambitious, beautiful, tall man, was a manipulative tactic that he used not only with me, but all my friends. Like, this was a story that he very easily shared with us very quickly. And from what I was shown in those first couple days, he seemed like a very sweet boy that was very driven and very determined. He's telling me he's working 3 jobs, that he's going to school to get his 2nd degree, all these things. I'm like, oh my God, this is such an incredible guy. He just seems like he wants to get married and he wants to fall in love. How could this woman cheat on him? I like fully believed this. I just found out even more insanity. I wasn't going to mention the things allegedly that he talked to me at the park, allegedly. But now that I know that it's also false, allegedly, we can bring this up. One of the sad sob storylines he fed me was that his mother was bipolar and they had a very horrible relationship, which kind of initially highlighted to me. I was like, oh, there's definitely mommy issues here. But I sympathized with him so much because it seemed to be, allegedly, from the other things that he told me about his life, which I'm not going to include because I have not gotten confirmation yet that that is false. But it seemed to me that he had just gotten the short end of the stick with life. So I'm hearing bipolar mom that was super aggressive with him as a child and all of these issues that he had. And then also the fiance that he apparently adored and she cheated on him. So I'm just like, how has this happened? This man is so, like, I literally was sitting there. I remember sitting in that car, such an idiot, you guys. I remember sitting in that car and thinking, no, I didn't think, I said out loud, I said, wow, your fiance is really dumb for letting you go. Also, if you see this girl, I am so fucking sorry I ever said that. I was so stupid. I don't know why I believed the bullshit, but he really got me in that moment. So anyways, we're in the car the whole time. He ends up leaving, like, because we're still at the park. We went to move to my car. Oh yeah, while we were in my car, he is showing me the song lyrics that he wrote for his friend. And the song lyrics are based on his so-called fiance, who he was never even engaged to. He lied and created the storyline. The so-called fiance that he actually was cheating on. He created this whole song for his friend to sing for him. So he wrote the song lyrics based off of his horrible experience with her cheating on him and breaking his heart.
That boy
Yeah,
good.
the story gets like crazier and crazier. It gets funnier and funnier every time. Like, I'm finding out more and more. Now, as you recall, he is still dating said girl while he's told her that he's hooping or working out or something at the park while he's been there for 8 hours with me. He calls his homies, which I'm also at this point very aware that him and his homies, these little 22-year-old, little 20-year-old boys that he hangs out with and brings all the bitches to their house because he can't bring them to his house. They are all very well aware of how he moves, and I am more than certain, allegedly, that they encourage him. So anyway, he calls me to tell me we end up ending our hangout because he told me he's gonna go hang out with the homeboy, whatever that guy is. I can't say his name, allegedly. So I guess, who knows if he was going there or if he was going to go see his girlfriend. I have no idea. So from what I've derived from the messages and what I've concluded from the most likely doctored screenshots he sent me and the conversation I had with his girlfriend at the time that he was seeing while he was discovering me, he ends things with her apparently, I believe, around the 19th. So there's a 3-day gap from the day that he's met me to the day that he's ended things with her. I wish I could say that this story doesn't get worse. This is the tip of the iceberg, you guys. Like, I'm not kidding. I think this outdoes, actually this doesn't outdo who the fuck did I marry? But this is pretty fucking close.
The actual audacity of men seriously needs to be studied because the way he thought he was gonna get away with this. So these are my text messages with him right after we left the park after speaking to each other for like 8 hours, right? You see that I text him at 6:08. I literally had just pulled out of Pan Pacific's like little parking lot because I had put on his sweatshirt because I was really cold. So at 6:08, I had texted him this. He's letting me know he's moving with intention, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Crazy, guys. You can see here that she's been texting him throughout the entire time that we've been at the park for 8 hours, which he never picked up his phone once. He then responds at 6:01 because I'm telling you, he literally must have answered her the minute I got into my car. The actual gaslighting. Woman, I was playing basketball at the park. No, you were on a date with a whole bitch for 8 hours. That's what you were doing. Telling her you were moving with intention and looking to get married. And then here we have a blatant cold-faced lie. I've been with no women. He has not been with any women because he was with one woman. This is the thing I learned about him. He's very methodical with the certain things that he says. Part 6 of Who the Fuck Did I Date? Well, basically, we have uncovered that he had a girlfriend while he was with me. I knew that he had a child originally, but I didn't know the extent to which he was being a deadbeat dad. Also know about the fact that he allegedly told me, that his mother was bipolar, and she is allegedly not bipolar, and she's a very present mother, and they just get into arguments all the time. So this is my actual story, so I actually can post his and the rest of his information, and also a photo of him, because this I can now corroborate as truth. It's something I experienced. I have my own text messages, and I would love to see him try to take me to court, because he does love to threaten people with legal action and getting police involved. I have the money to actually go to court with him. So yeah, if you would love to go to court, please let me know. We can meet you there, and all of the, I think I've spoken to 4 women now. I'm sure they would all happily meet me in court with you. So at this point, me and him are pretty involved from February 20th beyond. During this time period, I'm in the process of moving out of my apartment. I was thinking about moving across the country. We were in the process of moving out of the house, shipping cars, all this stuff. I think that I didn't get used monetary-wise and also home-wise to the extent that other women got used, because 1, the car got shipped, 2, I didn't have another place for him to stay after I moved out, and it became kind of him helping me more than I even helped him. So thank you, Jesus. Norm with him is to use women's cars, have them pay for all this stuff. I also was told that allegedly he took someone's credit card and put charges onto them without her knowing.
And I had my card, so I was like, hey, can you hold on to it? And then I was like, oh yeah, for sure. And I had tried getting it back from him, and I was like, if you're not gonna give it back, I'm gonna lock the card, or I'm gonna cancel it, because I don't want you using it. Like, I already know the type of person you are. And then he had been going to Equinox, and I kept calling my bank because it kept charging my card. I was like, this is not me. I do not live in LA. I don't go to Equinox. And please submit this up front. And then turned out, like, it was under his name. He was going, and, like, all this stuff. And so now, Big Blade's been canceled. I don't even know if he still goes. No, he does not go to Equinox anymore.
I also thought it was really odd that he had asked for my debit card PIN at one point, because he said we had a similar debit card. So I know that he's watching all these videos, so I dare you to put a charge onto any of my stuff, allegedly, because I will press charges. So about a week into knowing him, I invite him to come out with my friend, because one of my friends had come from New York to visit us, and we all went out to Barney's Beanery. I always call it the wrong thing, my friends make fun of me, but anyways, we go to Barney's Beanery. Earlier in that day, my friend, who we were all going to go like hang out with him because he came to visit, he had been flown out to come to shoot here, and a company had put him up in the hotel and was like paying for everything. So we stayed at his pool and like hung out there, and I invited Mr. Mans. So I invite him over. I'm like, you should come to the pool, whatever, like the company's gonna cover everything. You don't have to pay for anything. Like, we'll get some lunch, whatever, chill out, hang. So he comes, he parks his car in valet, because you have to park your car in valet in that hotel. And then he comes in and he's like carrying food with him. And I thought it was really odd that he was carrying food with him, because I told him, I was like, we literally have food here that you can like get for free. Like, when I was much younger and silly, there was a boy that I dated who was financially not doing very well. And I already recognized right away, I was like, oh, this is a bad sign, because that boy previously that I had dated, he also would bring food with him places, because obviously they cannot afford to eat, which honestly, I'm okay with that. If you're a good person, sure, no problem. Like, do what you need to do to afford the stuff that you've got going on. So I was like, okay, a little bit of a bad sign, because that definitely means financially we're on different terms. But you know, never, ever, ever, you guys, never, ever, ever have sympathy for a broke man, especially past the age of 20. And if they speak English, they are not an immigrant. They don't have the world against them. They're too damn old. Don't give any sympathy for that. But anyways, he shows us up to the pool with this meal, whatever. We end up ordering food anyways. He doesn't eat that meal. And then we separate and part ways before going to Barney's Beanery, or whatever the fuck that thing is called. And I remember coordinating time with him for us to go there. And then him texting me and being like, can you tell so-and-so that I left my food in his hotel room, I need it back. And I'm just like, why are you like searching down and trying to find this damn chicken and pasta thing? Like, why is this a big deal? So I text my friend, because I'm like, hey, Hims is looking for his food. He's like, oh fuck, I thought it was yours. I ate it already. And then I told him that. He seemed upset. I could tell that he was upset. And I started to feel bad, because I was like, fuck, he probably doesn't like, this is probably like his meal for the day. Very early, so I think he was on his best behavior. I genuinely think he was on his best behavior with me the entire relationship, because I was not gonna play that shit. But from what I've heard with other women, he was very aggressive. So we end up going to Barney's Beanery, or whatever the fuck that place is called, at around 9:30. We get there, everyone's ordering food. It's about like, I think it's 5 of us. And I find it very odd that he's not ordering anything. So I'm like, why are you not gonna order anything? He goes, oh, I'm not hungry. And this man eats like a linebacker. So I'm like, what do you mean you're not hungry? You're literally always hungry. And he's like, oh, it's okay. Like, money's really low for me because I just paid $1,200 for school, which allegedly, from what I'm deriving, I don't actually think he's in school. He also lied to me and said that he was getting a second degree. I believe from everyone's storyline seemed to be different. Some girls say he got his AA. Some girls say he never even went to college. Some girls say he never finished. I don't know. Basically, the storyline is that from my own opinion and from what I've experienced, I think he just pulls up a fake Canva and pretends to be doing classwork when he's really not, because I've never even seen him go to school and his classes are constantly getting canceled. So he basically pretty much tells me like, oh, I just spent $1,200 on school. Like, I don't have any money, which also I thought was like really weird because I've been to college and I'm like, $1,200 only for a semester. What class are you going to? That is cheap as fuck. Like, for some reason I had some grace with him. So I was like, bro, just eat the food. Like, it's fine, whatever. Don't worry about it. So then after that, we end up taking another Uber to go to apartment 200. And at this point, I think I've called 3 Ubers, and that's pretty normal with me and all my friends because everybody will just cover different stuff on different nights. So that's not how any of us are. We're not like very tit for tat. But I recognize when the bill comes out, I'm very like, my mother's very giving. That's how I was my whole life. So I was like, bro, don't worry about it. It's fine. Like, you ate like basically the remainder of the food that we weren't eating. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't have to pay me. But then we get to apartment 200, we're at apartment 200, we leave, and then this is now the 4th time that I've called an Uber and nothing has been paid for. So we end up going home. I'm upset by this because this is very triggering to me from my last relationship, and I was like, I absolutely refuse to be in a relationship again with a man that's not gonna be like paying for stuff, or like, damn bitch, call one Uber or something, come on. So my friend ends up texting me and she's like, yo, I did not like that he did not pay for anything. And I was like, yeah, I didn't either. And I'm telling my friend who was visiting at the time, I'm like, yeah, you peeped that he wasn't doing that. And so, you know, boys, they try to give like, you know, sympathy for one another. And they're like, well, he's probably he's doing things and like, just give him some grace. And like, as long as he's showing initiative and he's doing what he has to do, never do that again. I heard all that and I felt for all that, but I was just like, I am not doing this again. So I text him, because he left separately. I text him and I say, we need to talk. You need to come back to my house. I need to have a conversation with you about this. So I end up having an entire conversation with him about the monetary thing, because I'm like, I hope you understand, like, I'm not trying to be rude to you. I need to know your financial situation, because he told me that he was planning to buy a Tesla. The Tesla didn't come in enough time, so he ended up just having to buy this, like, I'm not even kidding, I think this is like a 1990s Mercedes. It's very rinky-dink that he drives. And then at one point he's telling me like, yeah, I've been rich before because I did Forex trading or something, allegedly, all this stuff. And so he told me like, oh yeah, this is a really awkward conversation, but yeah, financially I'm having a really hard time because allegedly something happened to the property that he says that he owns, and that it ended up clearing his savings, because he was like, I ended up having to spend $15,000 on these pipes being burst, blah, blah, whatever. And that a lot of the times he's having to spend his money on driving his friends around because his friends also don't got no money. So this is like probably 5 days into us talking. We have the conversation about the fact that I do not want to be paying for stuff. I do not want to be paying for him. So we have this conversation of like, you pay for you, I pay for me. And when we go out together, sometimes for like little lunches and stuff, we pay for
5 days.
But I am not going to be paying for everything. I am not your fucking sugar mama. But oddly enough, he was not combative with the conversation. He took it, he applied it, and was like, I'm so sorry, I will fix this. And that registered as a green flag for me, which I wish that it didn't. I wish that I ran. I'm gonna cover the 5-year-old child that he has with another woman. I'm gonna try to be respectful to her storyline and what's going on with that, because I do believe that that's gonna end up being a legal court case based off of the insane lies that he has told about her. Respect that and allow her to legally go through the court and deal with the allegations that he's making against. You know me, you know I'm very anti-dating a man that has a child. Also, due to my childhood, definitely make comments about men being negative aspect to children's lives most of the time. In the 6 days that I have known this man, I have definitely brought up the fact that I don't like men that have children, and I find that deadbeat dads that don't pay child support, like this stuff has come up because of what's happened in my life. All common knowledge, he's aware of all of this. From this time, in the 6 days, I do not know about his 5-year-old daughter. For those of you that want to start sending me negative stuff about, oh, you should have known, you should have read the red flags. Guys, I gave him 3 weeks of my life. I really didn't spend no money on this man. I don't got a baby with him. Not a lot happened. It got cut down very early. Go get tacos because he went with me to Home Depot to get boxes for moving the house. And I remember while we're getting tacos, we're eating tacos in the car, and I noticed that on the back of his phone, he has a photo of a baby. And I literally go in that moment, oh my God, this man has a child. what the fuck? Like, this is it, I'm done. I asked him, I said, do you have a kid? He's like, no, this is a photo of my friend who I think like is one of my friend, just like when she was a little girl. Like, I think it's really cute. Like, we have photos of each other on the back of our phones. I thought that was super weird because I was like, I've never had a photo of my friend as a baby on the back of my phone. But again, I am someone who jumps to conclusions so fast. And the therapy that I went into, my biggest issues was that I would jump to conclusions, not give people a chance to explain. I'm trying to apply that. Probably not the best I can, but again, I'm human, you guys, and I tell these stories online, one, because I need to warn you guys about this, and two, because not all of us are perfect. I want you guys to see that you're not alone in things, whatever. I don't recall if he specified the gender of the friend. I couldn't really tell exactly from the baby photo because the baby was like in very gender neutral clothing. From what I remember looking at the baby photo at the time, the baby was quite light, and he is half Korean or like 1/3 Korean or something, but this baby was quite light. So bear in mind that I have asked him at this point, do you have a child? And he's told me no. So I believe that it's the next day. We got into a conversation again about deadbeat dads. And we end up talking about it because he starts telling me like, oh, so you don't want to have kids because having kids is very important to me. And I already expressed to him, I was like, yeah, I do have commitment issues with marriage. I do have issues with wanting to have children in the future because of my own childhood. We get into a super deep conversation about it. I get all the spiel about like, I want to help you fix this because you should have children, and like obviously I'm intentional with how I date and I look for marriage, and like I want to make sure that you are on the same path as me because I don't want this to have to end, blah blah. Just like it seemed like a very healthy conversation of like, hey, I'm older, I'm looking to have something serious, I want to make sure that you're on the same path. So after we have this conversation, we end up laying down in the bed, and he tells me I have something I have to tell you, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, what am I about to get told? Prefaces this by saying that he has a lot of trauma with women in his life, and a lot of women have done very horrible things to him. I'm going to place a trigger warning over this for anyone that has been involved in something of that sort. He then proceeds to basically tell me the story, and again, for legal reasons, since I believe the woman that is involved with the story is going to pursue legal actions for telling not only me the story, but it seems to be, I have confirmation that he's told several other people this story. And I have been told from her and her friend that this is emphatically not true. Again, this one is seriously for real, allegedly. I have to say that. He starts this storyline off. There is no mention, it doesn't seem like it's steering in the direction of I'm being told that he has a child. It seems like I'm being steered in the direction of him trying to tell me that he has been assaulted by someone. About 25 to 30 minutes into this conversation, it then becomes apparent that he's about to tell me that he has a child as a result of this assault. But then the story starts to veer into like, okay, well then maybe he didn't end up having this baby. Like, again, I can't really tell details. Or then it seemed like it kind of maybe wasn't his baby. I don't know. He tells me the story for maybe about 40 minutes. When someone tells you a story about assault, I feel like it is extremely unkind to question them, to not listen to them, and especially as men, because men are oftentimes overlooked and not believed when people tell these stories. I took this very seriously because I was like, I've had people not believe me. I'm going to believe you. And at the end of the story, he tells me, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and shows me his phone. There's a collage on his screen, and there's a very, very tiny small photo of her at the bottom. Blindsided me because the way the story was going, he was making it seem like she tricked him into thinking that she was having a baby and he didn't really have a baby. I was so upset and I was so blindsided, and I was like, what the fuck? How could you not tell me? According to other women, this was something he told them very quickly. I think he was scared and knew that like I was not gonna put up with this. I think I said to him, I'm very annoyed that I'm not going to experience any first with you because one, he told me he had been engaged, and now he told me that he had a child. Somehow he spinned it around on me, made me feel bad. Yes, guys, sorry, buck and dub sometimes. And I somehow ended up apologizing to him. Obviously now, knowing everything that I know, allegedly from the people that I've spoken to, this is absolutely false. He also told me that he calls his daughter once a week, that he sends child support, that he really does want to see her, and that he's not allowed to, which again is all false because he has not made child support payments in years. He owes like tens of thousands of dollars. He does not contact his daughter, and also him and the mother of the child were in a relationship prior, and apparently he cheated on her so many freaking times. When he told me the story, he basically told me allegedly that this was just someone that he was kind of hooking up with, and she was just like getting intensely obsessed with him, and he tried to break it off with her the night that the said things happened, and that she wasn't having it. And I guess that was why she supposedly, allegedly, according to his story, chose to do what she did to him. And also because he stated that she was aware of the possible contracts he was getting to get signed to play ball overseas, and he felt like she was doing that to trap him and to get a paycheck out of him. We kind of talked this over. I decided to kind of let it slide for whatever reason why, and I actually ended up talking about it with my friend. And you know, sometimes we do hear about women doing things like that, like trying to kind of get certain stuff out of men that they think are going to make money. I don't know why I believed, I don't know guys. For the next 2.5 weeks, everything was totally fine. I had no issues with him till we decided to do the TikTok post to help his TikTok career that I was helping him with. This is when everything goes downhill and explodes, and I realize I have no idea who I've been with for the last 3 weeks. It's crazy. I just got a text that somebody told me that they have proof from one of his exes of him abusing her. So at this point, we have discovered that he's had a girlfriend while he was talking to me. The fiance that he told me that he was engaged to and cheated on him, he was actually cheating on her several times, and even with her best friend, and they were actually never even engaged. He gave her a promise ring after he got caught cheating several times, and then the engagement photos that he showed me to make me believe that he had been engaged were actually just because a photographer took photos of them because they thought, like, the photographer thought they were a good-looking couple. Alleged, trigger warning, assault that he states is the reason why he has a child. Also, most likely, allegedly, we have no idea what his stance is education-wise, if he's in school, if he isn't in school. We have discovered that the apartment that he says he owns is not his, it's actually his grandmother's, that she allows him and his dad to live there for free. We've also, I think at this point, I've had 6 different women reach out to me with their own stories regarding him, and all the behaviors seem to be very similar. I have found out that he has blackmailed women for money. He has used their cards against their will. He has taken sensitive photos of them and used them to kind of blackmail, in a sense, allegedly, and scare them. I have discovered that someone has tried to place a restraining order on him for allegedly damaging their car. And best of all, allegedly, he told me that his mother was bipolar, that they have a horrible relationship, that they haven't seen each other in several years. And according to someone close to him, allegedly, and who also is still in contact with his mother, they told me that is entirely false. She's a very hyper-present mother and just wants for him to do better, and basically calls him out on the bullshit that he's doing. We've also discovered a string of financial manipulation, using women for their homes, their cars, free riding. Basically, he's a certified bum. This is exhausting. So to clear up some questions, because people are like, how in the world did you fall for this? How did this happen to you? Nothing. I did not pay for things for him most of the time. We basically would go on and off with stuff, which is why I brought up, like, I had that discussion with him. The week that he stayed at my apartment, which was the last week that I had that apartment there, he was having to help us move things. So we put him to work. Like, he was not sitting in the house sucking up air conditioning for free. Like, he was moving heavy stuff. He was doing what he had to do. By the end of the week, and like a couple days later, by that time, cars were already shipped. So there was not a vehicle for him to use. So he actually ended up having me over at his place more often than he was like at, because I'm staying at my friend's right now because we're getting ready to go to New York. So I was at his place most of the time, have a car because the cars had been shipped. And so he was actually having to pick me up, drive me around, do all these things. That's why my storyline is much different from everyone else. I probably would have been abused just as much if I had that available to me. I think that was God looking out for me. He actually ended up having to spend a bunch of gas on me, drive me around places, and do things. Find out that the friend who was actually, that was flying in, and we had seen him at Beanie's Barnery, that friend, they ended up having a friendship, and God bless my friend. He really went out on a limb for him and wanted him to do better. I think we both sympathized with homeboy because he is so sweet and charming. A lot of you guys are like, he seemed like a walking red flag. I promise y'all, this man is a mastermind manipulator, which is genuinely why I think he's a sociopath, because he's so calculated. And you can see, like, now that we've gotten to where I have gotten with him and I've spoken to him past the stage of him pretending, his eyes are dead, you guys. But knowing what I know now, I have now been able to look back and pick up the signs of someone who does practice social cues. And very charming. Parents love him. Like, I went to a wedding with him and everyone's just like, this is the sweetest boy ever. We love him so much. He's had friends for years and years and years that I don't think know the type of person that he is. But anyways, my friend, who's very well connected within the male modeling industry and social media, goes out on a limb to help him, brings him to his modeling management, like just shows up with him, which if you guys are models, any of you are models, you know how fucking much of a risk it is just showing up to your agency meeting with a random person. Agents get extremely pissed about that because went out on a limb and then brought him to a dinner party with one of his main clients that like is a really huge thing for him. I'm so proud of him that he was able to like get that relationship. Brings him to this dinner thing, tries to like get him a relationship with these people. These people end up loving him also because he's very charming. And they tell him like they give him clothes. They like all follow him on social media. They're like, hey, we want to do a test shoot with you to possibly put you on contract to shoot all the time. That's what he told me. I actually haven't even verified if that's true, so who knows, that could be a lie. But basically, me and my friends are doing all this stuff to help him social media wise. I think that's why he ended up sticking with me, because it seemed like the other women, he was trying to use them for like their house, their cars, or monetary gain. He wasn't really getting any of that from me enough compared to the other girls. I think he was like, okay, I'm gonna drive this girl around, I'm gonna do all these things with her, I'm gonna spend this money on her because she's gonna provide for me a career, and that's the thing he was getting from me. Yeah, for those of you who think that I'm like posting this for clout and stuff, I'm not posting this for clout. Like, this does nothing for me. In fact, it actually fucks me up because I'm probably going to mess up getting brand deals and stuff from this. I'm posting this because this man is just like, at this point, more and more comes out, he's legitimately dangerous. Like, I want to show people to stay away from him.
On top of this man being a very good mastermind manipulator, he wasn't aggressive with me, he wasn't unkind, he never went more than like 20 minutes without answering my text messages. He called me on the phone all the time. We were together pretty much 24/7. So from what the storyline of what I've heard from other girls compared to mine, he would be very absent at certain times with them. They also were with him much longer. So it seems to be very repetitive that around like the 2 or 3 month mark, he's looking for the next victim. I was still in the angel spot with him. And I think also I was very rough and aggressive with him with the things that I didn't like, what I was not gonna do, and the stuff that I was not gonna put up. He was talking about his best friend and his relationship with the girl that he's dating at the moment, and him being like, yeah, that's so toxic, like that would never be us. You make that man look like a cake angel. The only reason he didn't end up like fucking around with the ex-girlfriend still was because she had closed that down and was done with it, and there was just no way it was gonna happen while he was with me because we were together 24/7. In the last couple of days of our time being together, I decided to make that TikTok video. I do genuinely want to apologize for posting that video. I did feel so uncomfortable with it, and I actually even posted on my close friends when I was doing it. I was like, guys, I feel so bad about lying. If you have followed me for years and years and years know that integrity and honesty is very important to me on this platform because I want you guys to trust me. And unfortunately, I'm human. I make mistakes. I knew I shouldn't have done it, and I knew that it was weird as fuck to do, and I knew that it was super weird to pretend that like I wasn't with him and stuff. I just wanted him to do well, and I wanted him to be able to make money because he was making it seem like I need to make money to support my daughter, like I really want to do all this stuff, and I felt so bad, and I was like, I'm not giving you money, but I will help you make some money. So obviously once this TikTok gets posted, I end up discovering the ex-girlfriend. I send him a text message because I took a screenshot of her comment on the original video that I posted where she was saying, if only you guys knew. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I basically explain everything clear cut, and he just basically tells me like, oh, that's just a girl that I was involved with and I don't want her anymore, and she's acting like a scorned woman, blah, blah, blah. And then he tells me, just delete the comment and block. That was my first red flag that I was like, nope, something is up here. Mind you, while this is going on, I am at the Indiana Wells Tennis Open with Nike. This is an amazing opportunity for me. I am so happy. And if anyone from the Nike team happens to see this, or anyone that was on that trip, I'm sorry I was so weird. This is what was going on the whole time. I was trying my best not to cry. I'm gonna just post the like screenshots of our text messages to kind of get the idea of this transaction across, because I really don't feel like talking about all this. But anyways, so yeah, basically he tells me that his first response is, I haven't spoken to her in over a month. I have her blocked on everything. I have deleted all of our text messages. That girl is insane. Has his friend text her and tell her to leave him alone. He did receive that text message from them. Again, these are the friends that enable him. He then proceeds to send me 18 photos of his call log where he is showcasing her calling him a bunch of times. And again, at that point, like, I'm a very huge believer that women are not crazy for no reason. Like, while within this call log, while I'm scrolling through it and looking at things, there's no phone call to his daughter that he supposedly calls every week. So that's just a side note. So after a long conversation on the phone that I have left my work event to waste my time on the phone with him, and he's gaslighting me and telling me, I can't even believe that you would question me about this. I am so good to you. And you know, he's still posting selfies at this time on his Instagram story because he's not in the slightest disturbed by this, and he is reveling in all the female attention that he has just garnered from the stupid fucking video that I put up about. Something just doesn't settle with me right. I'm just like, I don't think this girl's crazy. When I hang up on the phone with him, I tell him, okay, I have to believe you. I have to listen to everything that you said, because I wanted him to think that I did believe him. I was in Dune Desert, so when Nike brought us back, we didn't get back to about midnight, and I had him pick me up. I had him under the impression that everything was fine, and I believed him. I'm not gonna lie, I waited till he pulled off if the car probably wasn't safe to just go full, like, I'm not kidding you guys, I went like full Dominican on him. Like, I lost my ever-living shit. At one point, he breaks right before the house that he's dropping me off at, and we talk for a little bit, and then he gets so aggravated and like pissed off because he had like pulled over. We were talking about this shit. I'm like screaming, banging the dashboard. Like, if you know me, you know I'm not a screamer. I'm not an arguer. I don't fight. I haven't screamed at anyone since maybe college, like pre-therapy. So he got this out of me. This is how bad like it was getting. He gets so pissed off about it, starts the car, like swerves the car out, and then goes, and within this residential area, it's a straight like alleyway thing. He then goes 80 miles an hour all the way down the street. It scared the ever-living shit out of me afterwards, because I think in that moment I was in an adrenaline rush, and I am the type of person that like I don't get scared in the moment of men. Like, for some reason my mother has always said, she's like, you're incredibly fearless. I'm incredibly fearless with men. I do not fear my life with them. Like, to me, I'm always like, I will beat the shit out of you back. When I got out of the car, I was like, oh my god, we literally could have just died. Like, he could have just crashed us into a thing. Like, he tried to do that to scare me. Very scary. Like, going 80 miles an hour down a residential thing with roundabouts and stuff, like, he could have killed us. After about 3.5 hours of just backing him into a corner, showing him the proof that the ex-girlfriend has showing me, she's texting me at the same exact time. We went from he no longer had her blocked. He never had her blocked. He no longer had not spoken to her. He spoke to her on Thursday and then tried to tell me that he actually forgot that he had spoken to her on Thursday because due to his childhood traumas, he forgets a lot of things, and so he didn't remember that he texted her on Thursday. Then he began to tell me that he was only texting her because he was trying to coerce her to come back to his house to give him back his things. I received text messages between them of a very sexual nature, and I was like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, you were trying to girl to get your stuff back? In these text messages, at one point, there is a day that I am sleeping over at his house, and he is actually coordinating to meet up with her on the very day that I'm upstairs sleeping in his house. Could have my interpretation of the messages mixed up, but I do believe that he was trying to have, you know what, with the ex-girlfriend in the backseat of her car while I was upstairs, because obviously he couldn't do it since I'm sleeping in his bed. He was giving me a big sad sob story about, I promise, please forgive me, I will never do this again, you can have the passwords to my phone, blah blah. Like I told y'all, I don't do no cheating. So I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work, sorry. While I'm telling him about this, he's literally telling to me with 0 tears in his eyes and barely any emotion, I'm about to cry, you have to leave.
I don't know why for about 3 hours I sat downstairs with him and argued about everything, because I just felt like he was like playing me
3
like
weeks.
stupid. I was like, are you really trying to gaslight me into saying that I don't see what's in front of my face? We're having casual conversations. He was sending her the same photos he was sending me from when he was at work, the very little work that he even does with his little. Basically, at about 3:30 in the morning, he finally decides to give it up because he keeps begging me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be with you. This is fucking done. I don't trust you. I don't even want to be in a relationship where I feel like I have to check phones, any of that stuff. And if you cared about me so much and I was so important to you in the first place, we wouldn't even be in this position. So he starts telling me, well, can I come back tomorrow morning? Because I need to write a letter and write my thoughts out. Again, I told you guys, I have had firsthand experience for a majority of my life with narcissistic, manipulative men. And for some reason, they all love to write. And I think I've recognized why, because they need more time to conjure up thoughts of lies. But yeah, I'm just like, do not come back here tomorrow. Actually, he does piss me off. Again, re-pisses me off, because then at this point I was kind of like over it. I was like, please don't come back here tomorrow. He gets me mad again, and he tells me like, oh,
we'll get homegirl, which is the ex-girlfriend, I don't want to say her name online, we'll get her on the phone. I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow in front of you and we'll set this all straight. And I don't know, for some reason he brought me back up, so I was like, yeah, come back here tomorrow, get her on the phone, because I'm just like, how stupid do you think I am? That's my pet peeve in life. But I go upstairs, I lay down, I'm just like, I'm not gonna waste any time or energy into letting this boy show up here tomorrow to call his girl on the phone. What is he gonna, like, I just block him on everything, and I'm just like, this is done. I'm thinking, you guys, that he's just like a cheater. Like, in my mind, I'm not even thinking like, oh, this man is like clinically ill. Like, I'm just thinking that he's like one of those dumbasses who can't even cheat properly. On 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I open my phone and I see an email from him saying, no, I opened my phone around like 2. He said he was, in the email, he tells me he's coming to the house at 12:30. He didn't end up coming till like 1:32. So I open my phone, and as I'm opening my phone, I get a notification because he loves to share his ETA. I'm like, first of all, how can he do that and I have him blocked? I'm reading this email as the ETA message thing is telling me, Walter Quincy is arriving. Girl, he pulls up. My friend is really like, I'm losing my shit, y'all. I'm really like, I'm about to go downstairs. I'm about to whoop this boy's ass. He's about to see the pre-therapy in me come out. And is like, stay inside because you're going to create a huge argument. The neighbors are going to call the police. She goes downstairs to tell him that he has to leave. As she's talking to him, she told me when she repeated, she was like, there was no expression on his face. Like there was nothing. I get angry again while I'm watching her talk to him, because it should have been a 2-second thing. It should have been, get out of here and you go. They're talking for at least like a minute. So I go down there and yeah, I kind of said some very unkind things. I told him to leave and to pay the child support that he owes, and I called him an array of things that you may call a absent father. After that, my last text messages to him were the ones that I was telling him to return my AirPods. That I gave him those AirPods as a replacement because when we were packing, I thought I had accidentally packed up these AirPods that he told me were given to him by his brother that said I love poo on the back of it. I'm thinking I threw away like a damn near family heirloom. The time they were actually from the ex-girlfriend. Obviously I'm never getting that back. But yeah, end of my story. As traumatizing as that was, please avoid Walter Quincy Urbina for as much as you possibly can, ladies. That man is a psychopath. Goodbye.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Will Steals, your boy Kesey Lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Hit the links down below. We got Moves Coffee. Yep. If you trying to get up and stay up like me, Moves Coffee. Get your day started right. Okay, just click the link. Okay, I promise you won't stink until you go use the restroom, because you know how coffee be running through y'all. Anyway, hit the link. We got HiveMindLabs.com, where if you want to get lied to and manipulated, just, you know, unbig that back and you'll find somebody who will want to lie to you and manipulate you all day. Use the discount code everydaypj at checkout. Now, let's get into it. Shout out to this woman and her curly fro. The curly fros don't get enough love, you know. Especially when they like blonde or red like Ice Spice, you know. Shout out to the curly fros. But Quincy Urbina, let me just show y'all so you can see what I see. Alright, he has everything. We can also go to his Instagram. Where his Instagram is pretty lit. I'm pretty sure y'all see me looking. I was looking. Yep, I was. Because I had to pull some of this stuff up. I was like, this guy can't be serious. Like, is this real life? Is this real life? But bro is hooping though. He's a hooper. I forgot the one I was looking at earlier. Jamming. He played with the Drew League. This guy taking selfies, looking ass. Yeah, man. I was just like, bro, this story is too wild. Is he really that bad? Possibly. But you know, one thing I didn't understand is, oh yeah, look, bro got some hops, you know what I'm saying? He says, this is, I'm not one to really to boast about accomplishing goals, and I've learned to keep my wins to myself, lay low, and just keep to the grind. This year I've grown and completed some goals of mine that I never thought would be possible. Earlier this year I wrote on a piece of paper some goals I had for myself and that I wanted to accomplish before the year was over. Just the other day I officially am in progress of completing that last one I set for myself, and I want to say I'm damn proud of me and what I've accomplished this year. Then he starts to list the goals. Okay, get out of my comfort zone, connect with other creative minds, and create. Play professional basketball with a purpose. Play against pros and be dominant like I know I can. Start acting, modeling seriously. Really live life. Butterfly in the sky. I could go twice as high. Anyway, my reading's a little off. Really live life with purpose and don't just float. And work for it with a major fashion brand and gain the experience, knowledge. Create my first fashion brand in progress. Details come soon. These wins are for me currently and my future self to look back on and remember I started something that I never thought I'd be. Look at yourself now, Q. Keep going forever, EJ. Never be satisfied by the little wins, but see them and don't stop. Head down and grind. Never settle. What's meant to be will be. What's not won't. Not your timing. All in his timing. Keep him first always. One day or day one. That is a smooth manipulator. I don't know. I'm sick of manipulation and narcissism and all this stuff. The man's just a liar and a cheater. Like, there's nothing about it. Ball is life. Ball is life. There's nothing else about this. You know what I'm saying? It makes me think for 1 second that he just, this horrible person that just dates all these women. He's a typical guy. Okay? If y'all don't know. But 3 weeks is crazy to do a story. Ooh, 3 weeks. And you showing narcissism that bad where she hit you up with the story time, bro. You got to be bad. And I don't fault this woman for anything she did. You know, she spent a lot of time with him in that 3 weeks, and it seems like she got to learn him very quick, and now she's on to the next. But girl, you giving him too much shine. Because somebody who I'm not trying to help get social media, I'm not finna tell their name and post them. Matter of fact, there's people that I beef with online, but guess what? I never say their name. Hell, y'all's ass gonna go to the grave with me, okay? So giving him this much clout, guess what? It's about 50,000 women lined up to see him. They already know. They already see the red flags. They're gonna be like, well, as he throwing the red flags, I'm gonna just put them in my pocket and just wait for the next story time. His girlfriends are in the comment section actually, and I think she's one of the better looking ones. The rest of them are just good looking with makeup. Like you can put makeup on the potato and that bitch will be fine. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I hope this guy get his life together, man, because it ain't nothing like seeing a broke brother just struggle. I don't even know if he's a brother. He's half Korean. But the fact that you go through so much and do so little for people, I think that's pretty garbage. But be mindful who you date. Be mindful who you let in your circle. Be mindful of deadbeat dads. Like, that's the thing. See, I'll be like, one thing it is with dating, you can tell a woman anything, and they either don't believe you or believe you. And when they do believe you, and you show them signs that they shouldn't believe you, they only go into their shell and they start to come up with these thoughts, and they process all this stuff in their mind, and they hold it in till one day they start making a story time about you. When in all actuality, doesn't need to be a story time. This shouldn't be a story time. 3 weeks, girl, this story should have ended in 5 minutes. Like, I found out who he was and I left him. Like, telling us how you fed him for all these 3 weeks and how y'all didn't have a ride nowhere, and he was living with his mom and dad, grandma and dad, and the dad was living there for free, and that just should tell you, like, ball is life. He don't want nothing else, but I don't do nothing on my ball, counting all day like the clock on the wall. And he going to get all these girls' money's little duffel bag boy, man. Let me know what y'all think about this great situation in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as early as 1 week.